Yeah, hi folks. This is Juergen from CSUT again. Today I want to just give you a little insight in what we think about what zoonotic diseases are and how they affect animal and public health. So what I mentioned in one of my earlier blogs is that zoonotic diseases are transmitted from animals to humans. But that's not always one-way street. Everything has two ways. So also some of these zoonotic diseases are transmitted back from humans to animals. And some examples are, for example, tuberculosis very regularly goes from humans into animals like cows. Or a recent example which happened in the United States, pandemic H1N1, the so-called swine flu, went from a lot of people who got infected and went into their piggeries, their swine farms, infected the pigs. So the knowledge, or what we believe, scientists believe, there are 2,000 plus pathogens which can spill over from a wildlife reservoir, for example a bat, for example a monkey, for example a rodent, for example a pig, into a wild pig, into domesticated animals, or directly into humans. Some go directly into humans. For example, avian flu, if you could happen that you find a bird which dies or is sick with avian flu, a wild bird, and you help it, treat it, you might get infected and get with highly pathogenic avian flu. In other cases, for example, Rift Valley, it's another case. We know it can come from wildlife. Certain the certain species in Africa, etc., can harbor it. Can go via mosquitoes, because of vector-borne disease, to a cattle. And then abattoir workers, veterinarians, or people who slaughter the cow or the sheep get infected with Rift Valley fever. Similar cases are Ebola viruses, which most likely comes from bats directly to humans, or Lassa virus from rodents straight to humans. So we have a big reservoir in wildlife, and about 70% of all new emerging diseases diagnosed in humans are zoonotic in nature, i.e. this means they come from an animal reservoir. So what are these new emerging zoonotic diseases we have seen in the past 30 years? Everybody has heard about HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, AIDS. Came from monkeys into humans. We heard about Lyme disease. We heard about hantaviruses, Sinompre virus in the three-corner area, Colorado, New Mexico, etc. BSE, bovine mad cow disease, which induced a disease in humans called variant Creutzfeldt. Hendra and Nipah viruses in Hendra in Australia, and horses to humans, Nipah in swine, from Malaysia first, and now found more and more in Pakistan and other areas, Bangladesh, into humans. Avian flu I mentioned already. West Nile. We had the pandemic H1N1 in 2009, which came most likely from swine into humans and induced the pandemic influenza. In the last couple years, besides, we have MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome virus, which is very similar disease as we have seen with SARS, which we had in the early 2000s, or we had SARS in Hong Kong and Canada. We had cases, important cases. Now we have MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, which is transmitted from camels into humans. Nobody really knows the reservoir, but most likely it's bats again. And then we have, in the last couple of years, a big, actually the last 16 months, a recurrence of the highly pathogenic avian flus. Not only in the Americas, but also a lot in Europe, Eastern Europe and Asia. And then one thing I want to mention here, which is not very clear, that the whole transmission and how it transmits, are these antimicrobial resistant bugs. This is something we don't know so much about the ecology. We have to study that in more detail. But these are the emerging zoonotic diseases. And they affect many livestock species, a lot of wildlife, and also some emerging diseases which do not have zoonotic character, at least we don't know so, are affecting aquatic species. And aquaculture is the future of protein production for humans. And there are more and more diseases popping up in these in these farmed animals, which we have never seen, and some of them might be, I don't know, might be even zoonotic in nature. The impact, and that's my last minute, is important. Highly pathogenic flu in 2014, 15 in the United States was $4 billion. $4 billion. The cow in 2003, which was diagnosed with mad cow disease, was $4 billion in 2004. So these impacts of these diseases, the foot and mouth disease outbreak in the UK in 2001, 2007 was $30 billion. So the economic impact of these diseases are tremendous. And I think that's why we have to be alert. And if we diagnose a zoonotic disease in animals, before it infects this agent, the human, we are proactive. If we find it in humans and then backpedal and then have to look in animals, we are only reactive and we cause a lot of pain and maybe death in humans. So I am pledging everybody to understand that being proactive and do better biosurveillance and analysis what's going on in the animal kingdom is in terms of pathogens which have zoonotic character will save a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of pain, and many lives. Thank you very much.